Hello and welcome, race fans, into the final Coliseum. We are live here at Bristol with the Vigilante Racing League here tonight. They're going to try to take on 200 laps here of great Xfinity racing action, and boy, oh boy, is this one going to be a gladiatorial fight. Who's going to end up on top and who's going to leave here with less scrap metal than what they thought they would have. Either way, we cannot wait to see. So first, let's get things started off with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And thank you. As always, these great Vigilante Racing League races are brought to you by D&D Race Grafix, and that's graphics spelled Grafix. Go ahead and get yourself a fancy schmancy new paint job here for your iRacing vehicles. You can get the trucks, the Xfinity cars, the Cup cars, some of the dirt cars. Ricky Wittenberg, man, he does them all, so be sure to go and support him over there. You can reach out on Facebook and Trading Paints to get yourselves some eye candy here today, as well as Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Go ahead and reach out to Ricky at 423-444-0454. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your house in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country, Ricky and his team of experts are ready to help you out and get you into the home that, man, you probably are dreaming about. So be sure to reach on out to them, and you don't want to do it alone. This housing market is absolutely insane, bananas crazy. So get yourself a good quality realtor. I'm Alan Brown, and I miss 5-foot putts to continue matches in Ryder Cups, but I am joined by Mr. Alan English down here in the booth with me. And Alan, we're in store for a pretty fun and exciting race here at Bristol.
I'd love to have seen that putter throw today after you missed that 5-foot putt, but I digress. This is one of the greatest racetracks in the world, the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway, and to see a race under the lights at night, there's just nothing like it. So it's a half-mile track. They're going to be beating and banging each other all over the place. As there's only a couple of really usable lines here. It's going to be hard to pass. There's going to be a lot of pit action tonight, too, because these guys have a reduced fuel capacity in these cars. It's 40% of their fuel tank. So you're looking at a pit window of 55 to 60 laps. So we're going to see a lot of guys coming in and leaving pit road. And if it happens under grain, I mean, get ready for some traffic jams out there. It's going to be exciting.
That it is, but I know a man who is ready to rumble down there on pit road, and that's Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, I know short tracks, they bring out the heat, they bring out the fire, and that's all you're about.
Well, I mean, I'm already wanting to fight my fellow broadcaster. He's taking my shtick, my thing. You already stole the 40% fuel line from me, English. We may have to rumble up here in the booth. But seriously, yes, this is going to be fun watching these guys fight. 2 fast repairs, 40% fuel, 5 sets of tires, 32 incident points, and you're DQ'd, man. So that's going to be something we need to keep an eye on. 72 degrees, beautiful place to watch a race, and I think we'll see something fun for sure.
And that we will as we take a look at that race info as these drivers head on out for some qualifying laps. Beautiful night here under the lights at Bristol. You can see, although from the aerial it looks very similar, but just from this track map, the corners are just slightly enough different that these guys do have to watch out for that to kind of figure out what part of the track they are on. But otherwise, great racing weather here tonight, which brings us down to that key to the race, and it's more simply said than done, and it's to survive.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult out there, especially with if you do get a bunch of green flag laps in tonight, and guys are on different strategies. That is going to maybe bring out cautions in and of itself, because you're going to have guys that have different braking points, guys on new tires, guys on old tires. So look for some guys getting rear-ended and probably not being real happy about it either.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit in our pre-race meeting. The top 5 guys should really kind of have a good race tonight. We'll see how this middle of the pack kind of fills out and see if they can keep this thing squared away. This is a tough track. You're going to have to race close. There's just no way about it. You're going to hit lap traffic super quick here as the front. So a lot of different issues here at Bristol.
And that they will, as we're got the face cams going. Shane the Man, Chandler Paul, Greg Dobson as well. We also have, as always, Jonathan Osborne up there on the face cams here tonight. Just looking through here, some of the people that are yet to put in a time. Looks like quite a few people have put times in here. We also have Jeremiah Burke on the face cams here. He's currently not out there on the track. We also have Earl Evans joining us here with the face cam as well, as he's jamming out to something.
Well, I hope it's something cool. It's like I guess this would be like a rocker track, I think. Real quick. A lot of, turning, so you might get a little tired here. 200 laps, that's
Yeah, and
100 miles, but it's actually quite a bit, don't you think?
It really is, but not only that, but you got to kind of also think about, if this thing does have some green flag runs going to it, you're going to have to be in a pretty good rhythm, and what better way to try to keep a rhythm than, have some music going on, obviously talking with your teammates and other people out there on the track, but, these guys know what to do.
Yeah, even during qualifying, seeing some guys out there having trouble getting power down, coming out of the turns, because you don't have a few laps to get these tires warmed up during the qualifying sessions. So you gotta do what you can here.
Yeah, man, I might have to listen to some music here. ZZ Top sounds about right for tonight.
Well, I'm down with some ZZ Top.
Then I wouldn't have to listen to you, English. I could just listen to music and answer Brown when he asked me a question, and turn it back up to beer drinkers and hellraisers.
Maybe is pretty much everybody putting in their final runs here. Timothy Pope maybe just getting a few more extra laps of practice in. Just about 15-second laps here, so these guys are absolutely flying around this racetrack, hitting, just under 150 miles an hour, which, man, that's really cruising that, half mile kind of size track. Very tight down there, as well as both walls will come into play here, especially if we see wrecks on either of the straightaways. Things tend to bounce their way back up onto the racing surface and cause some real issues.
A lot of overrun area down there to stay out of the way. Yeah, like you said, sometimes that car goes spinning and it goes spinning right back up the track. And guys don't have an escape route. You know, you're going to hit somebody. But Greg Dobson told us earlier on YouTube, he says, my last race of the summer, keep an eye on the driving hazard Toyota machine. He's got that special paint scheme that lets you know it's dangerous to be around him.
Yeah, you know it's him. One thing here, and it's like a pro tip, because I have gotten fourth place here in a real race, guys. I know that's not champion or anything, but there's a thing called gravity. Do you see those bank corners? That's pretty heavy banking. So if you see some incident in front of you, at least it's going to go down first. It might come back up, but you may want to slide high on it. So just a pro tip.
That indeed, as these drivers start to get into their vehicles and get gridded on up here in pit lane. So let's go through that starting grid here for all you folks out at home. We got Jim Ott down there in first place, winning pole position. He's got the 33 at Jess Vaught starting right there beside him. That's also your battle here, championship standings wise, between 1 and 2. Jess Vaught in that lead spot, up by about 30 points over Jim. So be on the lookout for that battle as this race goes on. The 244, Jason Ayerson's going to start here in third with the 51 of Mike Adamson in fourth. Fifth, we're going to have the 72 of the Man, Chandler Paul. And sixth place, starting outside of him, is the 753, Jeremiah Burke, looking to have a comeback week after a kind of poor showing last week. 55, Ricky Wittenberg's going to start strong here, up in 7th with the 7 of Russ Kilgore starting in 8th. 292 of Greg Klein is going to start here in 9th with the 221 of David Fite rounding out tonight's starting top 10.
The 48 of Jack Dixon will be starting in 11th place. 12th will be the 285 of Greg Dobson. So the Canadians got the whole 6th row to themselves. The 81 of Jonathan Osborne starting in 13th. 14th will be the 01 of Kelly Keel. Timothy Pope starting way back in the pack tonight. The 728 machine is starting in 15th place. 16th will be the 4 of Dion Jones. The 222 of Tony Pope starting in 17th. 18th will be the 76 of Jeff Ottinger. And rounding out your top 20, the 2 of Albert Anderson and the 13 of Earl Evans.
And Dave the Mouth, I call him Hot Rod every once in a while. Dave the Mouth Mayberry, he'll be in 21st. Number 3, Austin Paul, 22nd. Looks like the 28, George Rincon will start 23rd. Andrew Cawthon, the 210, 24th. And 57 Russ Endicott will be 25th.
And that is your field. Good to see George Rincon out here again. I haven't seen him the last couple of weeks, so good to see him rejoining us as the lights on the pace car are off. They're going to be coming back to green flag racing here the next time they come down and cross that line. But man, 200 laps, and don't let that lap count scare you, man. These laps are going to absolutely fly, especially when these guys get a green flag run going.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to take a while to find that rhythm. And if these guys stay stacked up like they are for very long, we're going to see some cautions caused by contact. Well,
side by side they go right behind that pace car as it makes that treacherous dive down into pit lane. Green flag's out and waving. Here we go. Green flag racing for the first time here tonight at Bristol. Side by side down through turns 1 and 2. Absolutely ripping it through this racetrack. The 33 of Jess Vaught jumps out in front of the 205 of Jim Ott as both drivers getting a very good start there. Same thing with Mike Adamson and Jason Ayerson. They're still going to be side by side heading on down here a couple laps in now and kind of starting to single file out up here towards the front. I think these guys know they're going to have to kind of behave on those tires if they want to make any runs here later on. You got Ricky Wittenberg.
Is around.
Oh no, as Dion Jones is around.
No yellow.
No yellow. He's now off the racing track. Single car spin, which is one of the things. If it's only a single car, they will not throw a yellow for that. So he
was parked up in the middle of the track, and Russ Endicott hit him. So kind of surprised it didn't bring a yellow, but
let's keep rolling.
And still rolling on. Things single filed out here. We still have Jack Dixon in that 48, though. He's going to be side by side with, looks like Greg Klein and Tim Pope. We don't normally see Tim Pope this far down this order out here in the 13th. Look for him to maybe make a charge here later on as Jess Vaught runs the fastest lap of the race, a 15:07. Very, very quick here as Jason Ayerson still having a great battle up here with that 51 of Adamson.
Yeah, Albert Anderson, his pops here tonight, pulling for Albert, of course. So is Above EX2, or Above X2, I'm sorry. That's his little sister, Alicia. Jack Dixon's here. Chan the man, saying congrats, Jack, on the win. Who else we got? Connie Goodman's here. Lofi Evans, old Earl out there, he said he was jamming the Five Finger Death Punch, but he'll turn on some Taylor Swift in a bit if he starts wrecking a lot. So
Nice.
one way to do it. Victoria Endicott is Russ's daughter, saying shout out to the 57.
So green flag racing here. Other than that first little incident, everyone are running pretty clean and clear. We got Kelly Keel. He's having a good battle with Greg Klein here, kind of quasi teammates side by side. Down the back straightaway here, they have the 48 of Dixon trying to make up some ground here. As Kelly's starting to kind of shuffle on backwards through the pack. The 7 of Russ Kilgore up 3 spots already, making a pass on that 244 of Ayerson. He's now trying to hunt down that 753 of Jeremiah Burke.
Speaking of Dixon, he says 2 Canadians and no Canadian national anthem. Well, I can tell you the reason that President Trudeau, he's going to tax us if we were going to play that.
Well, they're in Tennessee.
Well, and the tax thing, we can't. It's not allowed here. Sorry. We do like the maple leaf flag and syrup and all that cool Canadian stuff, but don't want to get taxed.
If they did a race at a Canadian track, we'd definitely be playing the Canadian anthem. Let's see who else we got. Shell Baboons here tonight, rooting for the 2 machine. So is Aunt Edith Anderson. Sorry about that. Kathy is here as well. Everybody's excited for this short track racing tonight.
And why wouldn't they be, as Jonathan Osborne trying to sneak around that 285 of Greg Dobson right now, sneak up into an 11th place spot, looking down low. Looks like Russ Endicott in that 57 is going to kind of just jump down to the apron here, let people on by, as Kelly Keel as well trying to make his way around that 285.
Surprised how clean they're keeping it so far. Everybody's doing a great job giving each other room. It's a pleasant surprise for a short track.
They kind of spread out pretty quick, and I think we'll see them bunch back up, you know, especially if we have some of that green flag pit stop stuff going on. But right now, it's probably a good pace this early.
And talk about a good pace. Jess Vaught and Jim Ott, they've opened up a 2.5 second lead over the rest of the field as those guys are single file. Oh, the 13 goes up, snags that outside wall. That's not going to be the last time we see that. He's able to keep it straight and continues on pushing forward here. He's got that 33 coming on up there inside of him, so he's going to be put a lap down here already on lap 20, and that's really one of the things. I've found that you're either really, really good at these short tracks or you're just kind of really bad. Well, I don't want to say really bad, but, you know, just not as good, I should say, or not as comfortable. And you can go laps down extremely quickly here.
Well, another thing we've seen, too, on shorter tracks like this, if you get a lot of green flag laps, you're going to end up with like 5 cars on the lead lap at the end of this deal, maybe less.
Gotta stick with it because there could be an incident, something could happen. You get your lap back as a lucky dog and just ride it out. It's definitely a marathon here. It's 200 laps. Obviously, the class of the field's already taken a flight, so you just gotta kind of hang in there. And Evans hit the wall again. He doesn't like that paint scheme, AAA on the right rear quarter panel. I think.
Changed his luck a little bit, though. He took us off the hood, which is probably good. But he's still running a green race car number 13.
Trying to keep it.
Sorry about that.
Trying to keep it together as the 7. Oh, little contact there with the 244. Almost goes all the way around. I think the outside wall actually helped the 7 of Kilgore there a little bit, but that loss of speed is going to allow that 55 of Ricky Wittenberg, man, talk about an eye-catching paint job there, to try to sneak on through, but they're going to still be side by side here, heading through turns 3 and 4.
Jason Ayerson immediately keyed up on the radio and said, "I'm sorry about that." He did not try to hook him.
No fight so far. I mean, you can't miss Ricky Wittenberg's paint jobs wherever you are on the track. I mean, he just like
It's not exactly camouflaged, is it?
no, it's like he's one of them Latin American baseball players. Got the yellow this, yellow that, and then they got the gold here and there.
Tie-dye shirt. That's what it looks like, man.
Yeah,
As
it's,
Albert
getting after it.
Albert Anderson having his hands full with the Paul brothers sitting right there behind him. He's got Austin Paul in that 3 and Chandler Paul in that 72. They've been having a heck of a battle here, trying to fight for one of these top 15 spots.
Long race, boys and girls. Y'all better calm down out there.
No, let's see some action. Let's see somebody fight. Russ Kilgore's still in the pits here.
Right at about halfway now to the first fuel stop. These fuel stops are going to happen really fast with that small gas tank.
What was the fuel run here? I wasn't paying attention. You made me angry.
55 to 60 laps.
All right.
Under green, of course. So these guys have been running green. We ought to be able to see them come in right at about that point. Unless they decide to try to start short pitting everything.
As Ricky Wittenberg does get around that 7 eventually. Oh, as the 7 gets caught up in the wall, he's going to end up dropping down into Greg Klein. Greg Klein able to continue driving forward, but he's got a heck ton of damage. The 7, man, is absolutely chunked it up on that inside wall, and that's going to bring out the yellow here.
Yeah, a couple of guys not able to get slowed down there. The 81 was one of them. Went barreling into there and tore his front end up a little bit.
All right, so do they short pit it here and get the tires or the fuel now? Or both?
Well, I mean, that's something we need to talk about because they only have 4 extra sets of tires.
So maybe just get some fuel here.
Yeah, splash it off and hope for another caution soon before your tires get too terrible. Yeah, I think that's a good strategy. Fuel only here.
Would you take the chance at maybe doing 2 and having 2 more for the...
I wouldn't. 2 tires is not going to be much better than no tires. Just due to the sheer, force and wear you're putting on, especially on that right front. The sides are going to be too imbalanced, I would think. I would wait.
And we do have some takers, though. Jim Ott breaks off that back end of the 33 to come on down into pit road. It's the single entrance to pit road, so any of these guys that have a pit box on that front side basically have to do a full lap down pit road just because of how tight things are around here. And that's the other thing you got to be careful of, is if you're too far behind this field, like in the back, if you come down into the pits, there's a decent chance, even under caution, of going a lap down.
Yeah, it's a slow pit lane there. What is it, 35 miles an hour? And the pit car, the pace car is doing 40. So, I mean, I guess there's a chance if you had longer than, a 15-second pit stop. It's possible, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely possible. You get lapped on the caution lap. That's embarrassing.
Well, the guys that are coming in, looks like they're all taking full service.
All right. Well,
that's not
tells
what I
us
expected.
something.
Well, you know what? I think they saw that they were having a pretty solid green flag run there. Everyone was, again, for the most part, keeping it off each other, leaving up maybe a little bit of that extra space. So I think they might be thinking that this might be a long green flag run and might as well have the tires to do that run than to maybe kind of struggle through it.
But then they got to drive through the top 8 cars who did not take fuel or tires. They're going to be a lot slower. You're going to have big differences in speed here. This is what causes. This is what's going to be one of our main causes of cautions tonight. I think is the difference in braking points, difference in speeds here. 34 laps difference in tires. When they go green, it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, these tires don't wear under caution. I don't think, do they?
Not really, no. Well,
Yeah, 34 laps difference in tires. That's going to make a big difference when they go back green.
That it will. Speaking of, the lights on that pace car are off. We're going to have that 33 of Jess Vaught with a 753 out there beside him. 244 of Arison and Adamson right behind that row. Jack the Ripper Dixon up a few spots. He's going to be restarting here in 6th with the 55 of Wittenberg there on his inside in 5th. As here we go, coming out of that Geico restart zone. Green flag racing here once again, side by side racing. Jeremiah Burke not letting that 33 get too far away from him. He's going to have a run coming out of the corner here, because I think that middle to high line is where you want to be. So he's going to leapfrog here and jump up into the lead. 51 of Adamson maybe trying to sneak that nose up inside that 33 of Vaught. Not quite able to get there, though, as we got some battles going on behind these guys. 48 of Dixon with the 01 of Kelly Keel side by side. We also got Jim Ott hustling his way up through this field. You got Greg Klein, Austin Paul trying to jockey for position as well.
Yeah, too wide, a little bit back here. Starting to even out, looks like. Watch it. Oh, here we go. A little more too wide where Ricky's at. Ott trying to make those moves. Anderson's trying to move his way up the track as well.
Ott on those fresher tires, picking and weaving his way through this field. Albert Anderson making a pass up the inside here, trying to get around that 72 of Chandler Paul. He does get that spot as the 221 of David Feit trying to follow him through here as well, trying to get past that Bass Tracker 72 machine.
Austin Paul and that 3 machine up 12 spots so far. Your biggest mover so far of the race. Well, Jeremiah Burke's kind of found his element tonight. What you got?
Austin Paul, I saw him blinking a little bit, number 3 machine.
Just a little bit. 81 of Jonathan Osborne side by side with that 210 of Andrew Cawthon. Cawthon, I think last week was his first week here at Vigilante, but looking to try to get next season noticed here early on in this season. Oh, as the 4 goes around down on the front straightaway, he's sideways, hits that inside wall. He's able to drift it down off the track, trying to get that car refired up. Looks like he's going to end up jumping to that tow button to get into the pits, as Jim Ott, man, just flying through this field, jumps past Jeremiah Burke, Jess Vaught, Adamson, everybody, and Jim Ott now takes the lead for the first time here tonight. Jess Vaught losing a few positions as he's side by side now with that 292 of Greg Klein.
Adam, how many fast repairs we got tonight? Just 2?
Yeah, we're sitting at 2. Yep.
Oh man, guarantee you're gonna have a bunch of guys that use that up, and they're gonna have to actually have the guys out there manually beating on the thing with hammers.
Yeah, but you don't need too much here as long as your engine is intact and you're running full throttle. I mean, the body doesn't really matter. I've seen guys win this thing with no front end. No aero here, not an issue.
As Adamson works his way around his teammate there in that 753 of Burke. So Adamson up into 3rd. Greg Klein with his highest position of the night so far, up 7 spots in 2nd, looking very strong. But Jim Ott on those new tires, man, when he found that open space, which is kind of what it's all about here at these short tracks, is finding that open space. He is absolutely gone, about almost a 3-second lead here.
Tim Pope's got his hands full with a couple Vigilante Force guys here. He's having a heck of a time getting around the 01, and now the 29s Gonna easily go around the 01. Jim Pope trying to find his way back up through here after not a great qualifying performance.
Yeah, Albert Anderson is doing pretty well, and America's driver kind of pushing up the track. Looks like he's got Ricky Wittenberg in his sights right now. 12 spots for Albert.
Oh, as Russ Endicott has another issue down there. He's going to be slow and brings it back down onto the apron. So that 57 machine, he is all beaten and tore up, missing the hood, missing the rear end. Oh, I think he had some suspension damage there, as that car was not wanting to track properly. As we got crazy racing action going on here. That 728 of Timothy Pope still side by side here with the 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon.
Kathy and Edith and Above X2 all pulling for and Shelba Boone all pulling for the 2 of Albert Anderson. Connie Goodman out here cheering for Chachi in the 81. Adam Strom says, "Hey fellas, boy, I sure would like to see that 292 car get a win tonight." That's Greg Klein out there.
He seems to be the bridesmaid in all these races. Let's try to make him the bride tonight. Here's Albert Anderson making that move on the 55. Ricky Wittenberg. See if he can get past him here. Looks like he's almost there.
And side by side, Albert on those newer tires. So he's been climbing his way up through this field. He has that 221 of David Fite, who also pitted with him here, trying to fight his way around. As that 2 of Albert Anderson looking to the outside of Jess Vaught and trying to climb his way up into this top 5.
Yep, and now it looks like Vaught called out a pit.
Yeah, Vaught and Burke all coming down into the pits. A lot of these guys who didn't pit under that caution all coming on down. Looks like Ricky Wittenberg and Mike Adamson, who as Mike Adamson now comes down to the pit. So just about everybody who didn't pit that last go around are starting to make their way down. Ricky Wittenberg in that 55. He's probably seeing all those guys coming on in to get that pit stop done, and maybe thinking he's going to come on down here soon.
It just mixes up the little strategy here. We got about 10 cars on a little different strategy than the rest of them. So.
And boy, when you now look at it, you know, with how fresh and newer those tires are, I think some of these guys that didn't pit under caution there are realizing that they might have made a little mistake, as Timothy Pope breaks that rear end out, able to collect it back up together as the 753 tries to merge into traffic, as the 55 of Wittenberg tries to merge out of traffic there to come on down into pit lane.
Kind of knew this was going to be a factor, guys getting on and off pit road, trying to merge and trying to get onto pit road. It's really a handful, especially with the the single pit road entry. Everybody's going to be trying to make that change on the same piece of real estate.
Is Strom still at the state fair? He owes me like a whole case of beer.
He's bringing some corn dogs or something.
At least something. I've been slacking over there.
Jim Pope just bounced off the wall at least once.
And that's something you don't normally see with him.
Oh, as we're almost 3 wide in front of him here. You got Jeremiah Burke, you got Jess Vaught. Excuse me, not Jess Vaught. I think that might be Hot Rod Mayberry up there as well, with the 7 of Russ Kilgore almost going 3 wide out here. And boy, oh boy, these guys are side by side fighting here, as the 48 Jack the Ripper Dixon trying to fight his way on up here through some of this traffic as well.
You see these guys that didn't pit that first time for at least a splash of fuel, they've lost 3 laps at least. It's
Albert Anderson with his hands full here. The 221 of David Fite is going to take that podium spot away from the 2 machine. Oh, as things go beating and banging, Ricky Wittenberg, just getting down into that 753 of Burke. 55 is going to continue to kind of slide on out and around. He's going to be down there on that apron. Boy, oh boy, that was very close. A great save there from Jeremiah Burke.
And Albert Anderson. Albert saved it too, as Burke came down after it hit that top wall. Gravity came into play there, but Nick Anderson, he kept it straight.
stay green here. The 55 able to rejoin traffic there on the back stretch.
Yeah, thankfully, I think that 55 of Wittenberg was able to, for the most part, keep it off of all those walls to prevent any more damage. As the 28 of George Rincon, man, a guy we haven't seen here lately, but we know he's just Mr. Steady Eddie, and you can be sure enough counting on him to be up towards that top 5 by the end of these races, up 17 spots right now in 7th.
Yeah, it's a little misleading. These guys are 2 laps down. They're going to make it up when the other guys pit if we keep going green here. So it might just be like a leapfrog type of situation.
That it could be, as the 29 of Hot Rod Mayberry tries to chase down the 81 Jonathan Osborne, whose rear end looks like it's had a few friendly bumps happen to it here. As Poke Salad Tony Poke, he's in a battle here with that 728 of Timothy Pope right now, trying to keep on moving up through this top 10 field. So not only are these guys battling for position, but eventually at some point, Jim Ott, who's like 4 seconds in front of Greg Klein here, he's going to be catching up to this giant wad of traffic that's got going on, and he's actually right there in the middle of it, trying to shuffle his way on through. And so traffic, especially negotiating that and trying to keep your car clean, as when you get all these cars around you, this is where we get worried about maybe seeing that big one happen.
Yeah, and the leader getting taken out.
Seen it before here many times.
It's Albert Anderson just absolutely putting that car in the right spot on the racetrack there. He was riding in the middle between where the 29 and the 28 were trying to run, able to hold them up for another lap here as the 28, the 29, and here comes the 01 now trying to all get around that too of Albert Anderson. Oh, it's big contact.
There's a wreck right there.
Jim Ott, Timothy Pope, Jess Vaught, 72 of Chandler Paul, 244 of Ayrson as well involved.
Ooh-wee.
That might have been the curse right there. I don't know. But see what happened there with Ott and Pope.
Oh, Ott just extending out his corner just a little bit as Timothy Pope was right there, bumps Pope up into the wall. And, oh, man, that sends people all over the place.
57, right before that caution happened, Russ Endicott, 57, put his car on the trailer. He's done for the night.
Wow.
Well, it looks like Russ Kilgore might be your lucky dog. He didn't get any incident points from that, did he? If he didn't, he's your lucky dog. He should get a lap back here.
Yeah,
he's the only car 1 lap down.
Yeah, we're on lap 81. Are they going to need to pit? These guys have pitted at 34.
I
taking it anyway.
I think people may have learned their lesson. I think you're going to see everybody pit, even if it's just for fuel.
Get everybody back on the same deal.
That indeed. Well, you got just due to how many people were involved in this caution, I got a feeling people are probably going to come down to get a fast repair at a minimum. As Jim Ott leads that way down pit road, followed by Klein, Fight. Looks like Albert Anderson is going to be staying out there. Of course, Albert keeping it nice, clean, and clear. He's going to be trying to work his way around some traffic here. And normally under cautions, we like to talk to some of these drivers, but before we do that, we're going to make sure everybody's all situated and kind of where they need to be. As, Albert Anderson coming on in for his pit stop here. He might be taking a full one as Russ Kilgore in that 7 machine staying on out. Yep, and as I say that, he's going to come on down into pit lane. Oh, maybe not.
Edith Anderson with a question out there saying, how many times can they pit during a race? They could pit as many times as they want to, but they only have 4 full sets of tires that they can put on during the race, but they could stop every lap and get fuel if they want to. But the problem is, every time you stop, you're going to lose track position. Great question, Edith.
Yeah, especially here under green, you're going to lose. What would we see? 2 laps.
Yeah, 3
Green.
is with those 8 cars that didn't pit the first time. That's what they lost, 3 laps.
Wow.
And man, oh man, it not only that, but this caution couldn't have come out at a worse time for him either, because most of those guys that came in during that green flag run were still stuck 3 laps down and involved in that caution, so they were not able to get the wave around like the 33 of Vought. So Vought still stuck that 3 laps down.
Edison, it looks like a demolition derby there for a second. Jack Dixon says, "Man, that's a stupid pit entry rule. He doesn't like the way they have the pit entry set up where you have to go all the way around."
And I don't know why they did it that way. Is it more fair
I
to do it
don't
that
know.
way? Or?
I don't know if they're trying to cut down on driver confusion or what. I've done this at this track. Forget if I'm on the front pit road or the back pit road. It's happened.
Either way, the pace car comes on down as Jim Ott out in front. He's going to get a rip away from that 292 of Greg Klein there in second. The 221, David Fite, he's having a good job trying to hold off that 28 of George Rincon and 81 of Jonathan Osborne. George Rincon now up 19 spots. Man, he is having a great night here. As Hot Rod Mayberry as well up here in just outside of this top 5.
No trouble for Pope.
Oh, cold tires.
Oh, big wreck.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. Looked like cold
13
tires.
and 753 all involved. I think you're right, Adam.
Yeah, Albert got involved a little bit there.
55 also. I didn't see that at first. Wittenberg.
And Pope trying to get up the inside of Ayrton, and those rear end tires, man, just break loose. Yeah, Albert Anderson, a little bit of a tap there. He's going to get some damage, but man, this one really collects that 753, the 13, the 48, and the 55 a little bit as well. But goodness gracious. I mean, it like you said, Adam, when something happens up on that high side of the track, it just collects everybody on down. So like the 728 of Pope there, man, he was up on that outside and everything just trickled on down around him.
It was almost like bowling pins, just all the way down. There was nowhere to go by the end of that thing. So that's the sad thing about this track. It's so tight, something like that. It's almost like a Daytona crash, but it collects a bunch of people. But it doesn't do as much damage, so you can definitely drive and finish this thing out if you don't have any fast repair.
As we saw there, the 72 of Chandler Paul, he was able to find a hole and work his way through, along with that, I believe that was the 222 of Poke Salatoni.
Yeah, let's see. Who didn't have a back deck lid? Jeremiah Burke's missing one of those. There's a couple drivers out there missing a little bit of sheet metal, but it's all right.
Well, I mean, that's also, like you said there, Turner, sorry, we're just getting an alert of something going on in a city near me, but you can really run a race like this at Bristol as long as your suspension and your engine are fine. Man, how many times have we seen a race here where some of the winners, they're missing the hood, they're looking more like a tour modified rather than one of these NASCAR style kind of stock cars.
You better check your phone in case y'all having a tsunami warning or something.
What?
But yeah, you don't need all them panels. I mean, if it looks like a modified running around out there at your local dirt track on a Saturday night, it doesn't really matter. As long as that engine can stay cool, you can keep putting gas in it. You're not spraying oil all over the place or losing your brakes, boiling your brake fluid or something. You're good.
We need to have like a rescue mission for you, Brown. Are you all right? Is there
No, I'm
some crazed gunman?
I got a feeling that's probably what it is. Oh, no,
just
a
another one.
large water main break. Okay.
Ooh, that's even worse. I hope the toilet's flush, all right. Especially because you're fixing to go on vacation. You can't have any problems around there.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, especially if I'm coming up on time to go on vacation. It ain't my problem, so I'm not worried about it.
Well, that's a good attitude right there.
That's how you enjoy your vacation right there.
Yeah, just turn it all off.
Oh, your phone in the ocean and everything.
Don't do that.
Well,
But I'd like to sometimes.
As we go back to green flag racing here, another great restart for that 205 of Ott. Man, the 292 Greg Klein not getting the best of jumps there, as the 81 Jonathan Osborne is going to be able to try to leapfrog him here. They're still going to be side by side through turns 3 and 4.
210 is around. Cars are dodging him. He's off the racing surface, so we're staying green.
Yeah, he's able to almost get it pretty much down into pit lane there. So, good job there for Andrew Cawthon. David Feit is trying to catch on up to that 292 of Greg Klein now, as Jonathan Osborne wins that little battle that they had. You have that too of Albert Anderson up 14 spots, sitting inside this top 5. He's got a little bit of a space before George Rincon, but George Rincon's got some hungry drivers like Hot Rod Mayberry coming up on his tail here. Same thing with looks like Jess Vaught and Russ Kilgore. Jess Vaught still a couple laps down, trying to get some laps back, and he's got to do it the racing way.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but if anybody can do it, he can.
And let's see, above X2 says that was just a little tap for Anderson out there, and that number 2, it's built Ford tough out there. So love seeing everybody's family out here supporting them. That Anderson group, man, they're always showing up.
Absolutely, as Albert trying to catch on up to that 221 and catch up into 4th. You got Jim Hunt still out there in the lead by a good half second, as Jonathan Osborne is doing a pretty good job trying to chase him down here. Greg Klein hanging around in 3rd. Greg Dobson hanging on to a top 10 ninth place right now. He's got 1 lap on the top 10th driver of the 76, Jeff Ottinger, who just getting kind of caught up in a couple of these situations, but otherwise having a pretty solid race, just kind of minding his own business here, as he lets Timothy Pope and Tony Polk drive on around.
Pretty good pace set for this race right now. We just crossed halfway, and these guys look like they're still having fun out there. A track like this can really wear you out, so I'm kind of glad that they decided to bring the lap count down just a little bit for these guys. They took a few laps off. Man, it'll fatigue you a little bit fighting that steering wheel with that force feedback on a short track like this.
Well, they did some testing, put some man hours in, and realized how tough it is out here. It's a grueling thing, mentally and physically. If you're gonna, I think you're sitting in a chair behind a wheel, but there's actually a lot going on. You probably get your blood pressure up, your heart rate up, maybe even some good exercise right now.
Well, Joe Bennett, we talked to him last night after that great race he had. He said he was drenched with sweat. And his hands were hurting and everything. So, yeah, it takes a lot of concentration. I always have to have a fan blowing on me or something. I got one of the little office fans that blows on me when I'm driving.
Indeed, as David Feit, he's got a pack of hungry drivers sitting right there behind him. The 2 of Albert Anderson, the 28 of George Rincon, and the 7 of Russ Kilgore, all inside this wad of traffic. As, like you said, we're here on lap 107 out of 200, so a little bit past that halfway mark. Most of these guys coming on in around that lap 82-ish mark, so be on the lookout for right around lap 140 for these drivers to come on in. Once again, if this thing stays green flag racing, which that puts them pretty darn close on that fuel window, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, English did the testing, so sounds about right.
Right at 60, they ought to be running bone dry.
How many times did you crash while you were testing?
I actually didn't crash, not one time. I was actually surprised myself. I did scrape the wall a couple of times coming out of 4, trying to put power back down, and as the tire wear started to get me, I started sliding up the track a little more. I lost a little paint on the right side of the car, but I didn't wreck it.
Well, when did the tires start feeling kind of bad?
Well, it was, I pushed them too hard. I only did 20 practice laps, and it was sliding up the track, start probably lap 17, so I was not taking care of the tires. I was just trying to run the car as hard as I could. I knew I wasn't doing a full fuel run.
Oh, as we got a big wreck, Jonathan Osborne hitting the barrels. Oh, he's able to keep it off the racing track, but he's going to lose a lot of time in a lot of spots. He was doing a great job running up there in some of those top spots. Greg Klein, he ends up drifting backwards through this field a little bit. So let's go back and see kind of what happened here with Osborne. Oh, he gets down into Klein just a little bit. Klein really nowhere to go. He's going to be able to continue to drive off, but lose a ton of time. Now you're going to have a fight up here, and this is for some podium spots. You got David Fight, you got George Rincon, you also have Russ Kilgore, as Albert Anderson may be starting to struggle on some of that older rubber right now.
Yeah, it's got to be a battle. The longer you're out there, the more you're going to have some sliding and stuff like that. Couple too wides there. Ricky Wittenberg, too wide.
That could have been a lot worse for Klein. I think he was able to get on the binders just quick enough, take some speed out of that thing before he really T-boned the 81.
Yeah, Ricky Wittenberg's just kind of set in the way with Greg Klein trying to get around him at the end, get around the 29 and Dave the Mouth Mayberry.
And side by side they go, almost knocking doors as that 55 and 29. You can also see the wad of traffic going on up in front of them. Like you got Albert Anderson side by side with Kelly Keel. Have the 753 of Jeremiah Burke trying to cut his way up through this field as well. So this is the second time we've kind of seen it here tonight, where just everybody finding themselves right around the same spot on track, which is kind of something you would see, during an endurance race. You would think after, 14, 15 hours of racing that people would be separated, but, with lap traffic and all that, sometimes you find yourself just in a big ball of absolute chaos.
Well, it makes sense on an endurance track, that's 3.5 miles long or something, but there's only half a mile here. These guys, there's nowhere to go to get out of the way.
There's no hiding your head in shame, as they would say. Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, 122 laps done out of the 200. So we're inside of that 80 laps to go mark, as here comes Russ Kilgore trying to get inside that 28 of George Rincon.
I haven't heard any guys calling out just yet for fuel. Like pit road, we only have 2 takers right now, and I think 4 of Deion Jones, that was for damage.
Same thing with the 13 there of Earl Evans coming on down into pit lane.
Oh, they're bunching up back here.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching the same group you are, Adam.
Yeah.
Everybody's side by side like that. You can't pit, though, if you're on that high line, so better be confident in your fuel.
Yeah, because that Kelly Keel there and Pope just kind of going after one another.
Side by side they go. I think they're kind of starting to maybe try to figure it out here just a little bit. You got the 01 of Keel in there, the 55 of Wittenberg. You got Timothy Pope up in there, Greg Klein, Albert Anderson still having a great fight here with the 221 of David Fight. Man, we just got great battles going on here at this racetrack here tonight.
George Rincon in his return tonight. What a performance, up 21 spots.
Yeah, well, he can drive. We know that.
As we got Jess Vaught in that 33, was leading a good chunk of this race, starting to find a little bit of space to really put some laps down here. He's coming up the inside of that 7 of Kilgore to try to make up some of the time here. Almost 3-4 laps down now. He's got Jason Ayerson trying to climb up that back bumper of him as well. You got David Fight now side by side with Greg Klein as Albert Anderson wins that fight. He's going to now try to hunt down that 28 of George Rincon, who's about 3 seconds in front of him now.
That Klein got a little crooked there for a minute. I think he had some contact, had to run down to the apron, but has since recovered. He's currently battling the 2 machine. This battle behind him, though, man. 51 and the 221, and then a couple of Vigilante Force teammates behind him.
And that's Hot Rod and Keel, who are side by side as, Hot Rod almost coming in a little too hot, getting up into that 221, but able to just keep it off of him there.
Well, we're getting closer and closer to the end of this thing. Still seeing battles all over the place. It's hard to tell where everybody is on the track. You have a guy a lap down next to a guy that's battling in the top 10, so sometimes it's hard to kind of figure all that out.
And so 285 of Dobson up here in 8th right now as well. He's watching this battling go on right in front of him as Jim Ott makes his trip through that kind of little wad of traffic, almost getting ready to put even more laps between him and the rest of this field. He's got about 5 more seconds, and then he'll lap everybody on up to Russ Kilgore.
They only got about 6 more laps of gas, these guys that pitted at lap 82 and 83. So watch these guys to start lining up on the inside line, getting ready to pit for fuel. 142, I think, was my magic number for pit road, or for fuel distance here.
As you got Jeremiah Burke trying to fight his way back from a couple of those incidents here. You can see the absolute driver focus on his face as they continue to put laps down there. Absolutely wheeling that machine as he's trying to get around that 13 of Earl Evans right now. Side by side, up into the wall. Great save there. You can see those reactions by Jeremiah, thanks to that driver cam.
That Dobson's still moving up the track, and that student driver, I don't know what that is. It just looks like a traffic device.
As Greg Klein fights his way back up after that contact with Jonathan Osborne, finds himself on the 3rd place podium spot right now as Jeff Ottinger comes on down into pit lane. So I think here we go, the first round of people coming on in to really get these final pit stops going, because it's going to be tight, but they should be able to make it here from the end to the end.
They ought to just be able to make it. Now, that being said, if they do get a late caution and they've got an extra set of tires, definitely expect them to come down and take advantage of that.
We got Jonathan Osborne coming down into the pit lane as the 55 Ricky Wittenberg, not for any positions here, but having a pretty good battle. Trying to read these cars' numbers as they're going by, man. It is tough. It looks like that's Adamson in front of him here, as well as that 28 of George Rincon. As here,
also, folks, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as here comes Greg Klein, just continuing this charge. He's now up into 2nd, so talk about having a rally train performance here for that 292 of Klein, able to fight back after that incident, and now back up into 2nd, as it looks like the 7 of Kilgore is going to come on into the pits.
All y'all watching out there on YouTube, we sure do appreciate y'all supporting us every race we do, and if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and mash that That bell thing. What's that bell thing for, Adam?
Man, I don't. Why are you asking me? I don't know what it is.
No, I don't know.
I mean, hit the thumbs down. I don't care.
It's-
I mean, just hit
It's an
something.
alarm.
Oh, it's
The
Jeff.
bell
We
sets an
got
alarm.
a wreck. We got a wreck. Oh no, yellow
Oh,
is
Lord.
out.
Bell's out.
Ooh, still crashing there. Ooh.
Oh, 33, 29. Oh, good lord.
76 is missing a bunch of parts. I don't know if that just happened or.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't need parts.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
it
did. He's got a
was.
meatball flag.
He had all his bits and pieces. He was coming on up. Just hooked a little bit on that 210 machine, and that's going to kind of block the high line. Oh, right in the middle. The 28 of Rincon gets up into him. Ricky Wittenberg was able to avoid that. 01 Akil goes for a ride. 29, the 33 trying to get slowed up. The problem is you can't really stop on the bank section of the turns. It just kind of spins you on around. But yeah, just everybody having some issues down there. As let's watch and see kind of what happens here. It looked like Greg Dobson in that 285 having some problems as well, trying to get that thing slowed up. The 13 Earl Evans goes down to the apron just enough. Oh, that's what happened to the 33. Dobson just not able to check up enough and spins him on around. But that's going to put some people in some very interesting spots, depending on where they came down into those pits. Looks like Jim Ott did pit here on lap 147.
Oh no, Greg Klein got a penalty. I think he got caught for speeding.
Sort of engine blow too. I don't. That was a lot going on, man.
Well, they cleared Greg's penalty. It looks like.
He might have tried to escape down a pit road or something. That might be.
I think you're right.
That might be a thing, but yellow flag comes on out here on, call it lap 140. So just about everybody all coming on down and in for their final, or what we expect is their final round of pit stops. I'm gonna have Jim Ott out there with Greg Klein. Gonna be starting up here towards the front, we believe. 28 of George Rincon as well. He's gonna start up there in third. Hot Rod Mayberry's gonna have a great start here up in fourth. So, man, we're not done here for these final 50 laps.
Earl Evans did a heck of a job avoiding that last accident too, diving down to the apron early.
Yahtzee.
Hey, we got Andrew Hansley over there joining us on the YouTube as well. We saw him with a heck of a race last night. So congrats to you, Andrew, on that. That was fun to watch. Glad you're with us tonight. Andrew, maybe he can answer us a question. Where did you finish last night? Because I know, you were poised to get a podium there at one point. I can't remember what happened at the end of that. I think he had something happen to him. Albert Anderson Jr. saying, yeah, it's a good time to come down and get tires. Still got a set left, might as well. Kind of like we predicted, due to all the green flag laps, you only got 6 cars on the lead lap right now. So if you're not one of those lead lap cars, come on down and get them while you're under caution.
Man, you might as well, as the lights on that pace car turn off. I guess it is leader's choice here, so Jim Ott is going to restart this field up on that high side. Got Greg Klein there starting on that low line. Dave Mayberry is going to be starting this one up towards the front with 28 of Rincon. You got 728 Timothy Pope coming on back from a couple incidents, as well as Craig Dobson all on this lead lap as we go back to green flag racing here with the final 50 odd laps left remaining. Man, oh man, these guys are flying here tonight as Jim Ott breaks out into the lead like we have seen him do thus far. Oh, Albert Anderson having an issue, able to save it as they're almost 3 wide trying to go around him here.
Oh, 28's around. Big wreck on the... Oh, they're still wrecking down. All the way down the back stretch, there's wrecks. It looked like two separate wrecks there, Alan.
What?
One that happened near the rear there, and
Oh, the 28 just gets into that rear end. I think it's all based off of that first wreck there, Ricky Wittenberg. Man, talk about a guy who's done some clean driving. He's just been collected in everything. He gets collected in another one here. Let's go ahead and watch this one from the chopper cam. As
yep, you're right. All those were secondaries off of the George Rincon Hot Rod Mayberry deal.
Yeah, 753 goes for a ride. The 222 of Polk Salatoni, 81 of Osborne gets caught up in it. Looks like the Ford of Deion Jones getting all caught up in it. The 210 as well as that 76 of Jeff Ottinger. Oh man, we got helter-skelter action going on here. And you know what? That all started with just the lightest of taps between Mayberry and Rincon.
Mike Adamson done for the night. I don't know if that was because of incident points or pure frustration there, but 51, he's back on the hauler. Andrew Hansley said he finished fifth last night. He managed to avoid a couple of spinning cars after they took the white flag last night. That's how he ended up in fifth. But man, he's Andrew Hansley in that other league. He's one of your guys that's really improved quite a bit. Real proud of him. It's fun to watch him. Good to see him back out on the track on Tuesday nights.
Yes, indeed. So we'll be going back to green flag racing here with about 40 laps left remaining. Of course, we always have to thank our great sponsors here at Vigilante Racing League. Those are D&D Race Graphics, and that's spelled Grafix, Grafix. Be sure to look them up over there on Facebook and on Trading Paints to get yourselves a fancy car paint done here tonight. Unfortunately, the eye-catching colors are not helping Ricky Wittenberg out here tonight, but you can always be sure to get compliments on those paint jobs here if you get a paint job done by Ricky. So be sure to go on out there and get a great paint from them, as well as Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Reach on out there to Ricky Wittenberg at 423-444-0454. And man, we always talk about it, how crazy this housing market is. Whether you're there in Johnson City, in Tennessee, or you're up here in New Hampshire, down there, Louisiana, or even out there on the coast of California, everything is wild. So be sure to give Ricky a call, and he'll help you get in contact with a realtor that you know you can get along with and trust in whatever area you're looking for, because it is something you do not want to do alone. Get yourself a good quality realtor. Lights on the pace car are off as we get stacked back up, racked back up, and ready to roll here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Taken to that green flag once again with a great restart is that 205 of Jim Ott. He's making some moves here as Greg Klein has a battle with that 728 of Timothy Pope, up 13 spots there for Pope as they're still side by side heading through turns 3 and 4, down and back across the line. And here we go. It is absolutely go time here from Vigilante.
George Rincon's got a black flag. He's continuing to run out there. He's got a black flag for something. It doesn't tell me what it's for, but he's continuing to make laps. If he doesn't get it, come in and get it served or get it cleared, they're going to DQ him. They're going to post the 28.
Well, he may want to talk to the race.
Oh no! As the 13 Earl Evans goes for a ride, he is down on the apron, able to keep clear of everybody as Timothy Pope wins that battle against Greg Klein. So Tim Pope up into second place right now as George Rincon does come on down into pit lane.
Well, that's pretty much going to torpedo his race. He was doing so well out there today, and just some kind of black flag. I don't know what it was for, but He's going to come in and he's going to be sitting there for a while watching all these other cars go by again and again.
That's not a fun place to be.
No, it's frustrating. I've been there several times, and oh man, face is red right now, guaranteed.
Here on lap 166 out of 200, George Rincon down there in the pits lane still. You got the 72 of Chandler Paul trying to hunt down his Cult of Chaos team member Ricky Wittenberg here, trying to get up into this top 15. Albert Anderson stuck a couple laps down, trying to continue his fight up through this field as he's side by side with Ricky. That two machine of Anderson running very cool here. A lot of air running to that radiator.
Oh, that's a bonus sometimes. Keep it cool. Looks like we got a question out there. English? Kathy says, what determines how many laps a pace car makes before they start up again?
So what they'll do is, when there's a wreck out on the track, they'll send the pace car out and they'll close the pits. So the pace car will basically make one whole lap with the field behind them with the pits closed. As soon as they, we got a big wreck on the backstretch here.
Huge wreck. Number 3 was involved.
Ooh, 55 of Wittenberg able to do some duck diving and dodging. Looks like Jonathan Osborne in that 81 machine getting involved as well. Oh, they were catching up to some lap traffic. Oh, and that's exactly what happened there. The 13 of Earl Evans just trying to do his best to stay up on that high side, up against the wall. Jonathan Osborne coming with a full head of steam, gets a little loose, gets down into 3, snags up quite a few people there.
But yeah, Kathy, and then they'll add a couple of extra laps for guys to go in and get damage, come out, and get regrouped. And then when you see them go double file again, that means there's 1 lap to go. So it usually ends up being, what, about 4?
It depends on the
4 or
track.
5, depends on the track. Yeah, that's true.
Here or more, but here's what I think happened, Brown. It's just me. 13 got in the wall. 81 was trying to get around him. He looks in his rear view. He don't see anybody because Paul is flashing in the 3. He's blinking. He's not available to be seen. And he pops up out of nowhere, and I think Osborne overcorrected after seeing him, and that's what caused that. That's my opinion, and I think I'm right. Look at it from the blimp camera or something.
Yeah,
you can see what I'm saying.
I definitely, I probably would concur with that one, as Jim Ott with a very surprising call coming on down into pit lane. I think taking his final sets of tires here, making sure he has the freshest ones available to finish off this final 25 laps. Greg Klein and Hot Rod Mayberry, though, they're going to hang on around out in front. So Greg Klein's going to get some bonus lead lap points here, as Mayberry having a very solid race in that 29 Vigilante Force machine here tonight.
Yeah, man. Short tracks, I guess those are his thing, because he's having a heck of a race tonight.
Well, the way he talks, I think everything's his thing, isn't it?
Is that how he went from being a hot rod to the mouth?
I think. I don't know. I don't try to get into their shenanigans over there, but
he's a funny guy, though.
Yeah,
if you've ever talked to him, he's fun to talk to.
He's got a lot of comedy behind him, so that's what I do love, the comedy, and I also love the hatred. Do we have anybody with hate in their heart right now out there?
Let that hate go.
We have what, 30 laps?
It'll be
punished?
Right around 25 laps left remaining. But the other thing they're going to have to watch out for here is both Ott and Pope and Dobson, as well as Kilgore and Ayrson, all came down into the pits and are running on those fresh rubbers. So Greg Klein and Hot Rod Mayberry, they're going to have their hands full here trying to block this entire racetrack.
How many laps difference? 23?
Yeah, about
that's quite a bit.
About half of a stint as they go side by side behind this pace car, getting ready to go back to that green flag. And man, oh man, it is go time. Arison, last car on that lead lap, 7:53. Jeremiah Burke, 1 lap down in that lucky dog spot. He's hoping for another caution here as we go to green flag racing here. Greg Klein with a great restart as Jim Ott's going to follow him right up on through and past Hot Rod Mayberry here. You got Jonathan Osborne. He's going to be maybe a little slow getting in the way here in just a second, but Jim Ott looking to the outside, snagging that outside wall just a little bit, able to hang on to it as just about the entire outside of that field was able to snag that outside wall a little bit.
Pope got really loose there, was able to save it. What do we always talk about, the aggression? What happens towards the end of the race? It starts getting ramped up here. These guys are starting to make some riskier moves out there.
That they are.
Yeah, that's only going to continue.
As Jim Ott gets out in front of Greg Klein with a pass up the inside. He's now going to try to get free and clear of him, but we know anything. There's not an ounce of quit in any of these drivers. Timothy Pope looking up the inside of that 29 of Hot Rod Mayberry right now with the 7 of Russ Kilgore. Very hungry for a good finish here tonight. He's trying to get down and pass some of these guys. The 285 of Dobson just sitting there waiting for one of these guys to make a mistake. He's got a little bit of space before that 244 of Arison catches on up to him here. You got the 3 of Austin Paul trying to catch on up to that 2 of Albert Anderson to get up into 11th. Albert just about half a lap down to David Fite here. Almost actually a full lap to get up into that top 10 as Russ Kilgore comes on up past and through that 292 of Greg Klein. And this is just that speed differential here, the new tires versus the old tires, as here comes Greg Klein back trying to maybe do a crossover move, looking to the inside of that 7.
Ooh, it's starting to get good out here at Bristol tonight. Under the lights, I love it.
Yeah, a lot of traffic out there. It looks like damn I-35 in Austin right now. Everybody kind of backed up.
Austin Paul looking on the inside of the 28 here. He's having a hard time getting that front end to stick. It's like he's got a little front end push there. There's Ricky Wittenberg in the 55. He's going to follow the 3. They're both going to try to get around the 2 here.
And that they are. Here comes that 3 up the inside of Albert Anderson, the 55 of Ricky. A lap down to these guys trying to make up some time as well. Hot Rod Mayberry, he's now having a battle here with that 285. Almost gets up and kind of quarters himself on that 285 of Dobson, but able to just keep it off of them as they go side by side down and across the line here with 14 laps to go. Battle for a top 5.
I tell you what, old Earl Evans out there, he got some heart. He's out there running around as much as he can, a lot of the time on the apron, just trying to click off laps. He's staying in this thing, just trying to pick up maybe an attrition position or 2. But there ain't no quitting that guy.
Yeah, he's down there just like a go-kart on the bottom. Attrition position, that's a fancy word you got. That's like a phrase or something.
I had to look it up. I found it in a thesaurus.
Oh, as we're almost going 3 wide here in a battle for a top 15 spot. The 72 of Chandler Paul. You also got the 01 of Kelly Keel and the 210 of Andrew Cawthon. All having... Oh, as the 72 gets up into Kelly Keel, both drivers able to keep it somewhat straight there, but maybe a little too much pinch there for that 72 up on that one.
So Jeremiah Burke he's not racing anybody right now. He's the only car 1 lap down. So if we get a caution and he stays out of the mayhem, 753 is going to get a lap back and get a chance of this win. We only got 7 cars on the lead lap right now.
That is correct, as Dobson has won that battle against Hot Rod Mayberry. For now, that thing could heat back up here in a second, but now he's trying to chase down that 292 of Greg Klein. Jim Ott out in front, using as much as that racetrack as he possibly can, trying to keep that half-second lead over the 728 of Timothy Pope.
Dave Mayberry still your hardest charger of the race right now in 6th position, up 15 spots from the start. Cat's running his hind end off tonight.
We're winding this thing up quickly, too.
Yes, indeed. As here comes that 244 of Arison trying to get up inside that 2 of Anderson. Missing a couple body panels off that front there for him. As the 48 of Jack the Ripper Dixon makes that move to get that spot away from Albert.
I hate to bring it up right now, boys, but we do have one attempt available at a green-white checker finish, an official green-white checker finish. So just keep that in mind as we watch these laps tick down.
4 laps now remaining as we got a wad of cars, 3 wide there for just a second with the 222 of Poke Salatoni. You had the 28 of George Rincon back there, as well as the 33 of Vaught and the 01 of Kiel, as Jim Ott continues to try to lead this race out in front. You got Greg Dobson right on that back bumper of that 285 of Greg Klein here with 2 laps remaining now. Oh, let's see if that 205 can get this white flag before we see a caution, and it looks like through turns 3 and 4 still looking good. Once we get that white flag, no more cautions. So here we go, white flag is out. The 205 just less than half a mile away from picking up another win here in this Vigilante Racing League. Through turns 3 and 4 he goes, catching up to a little bit of traffic, but Timothy Pope too far behind him. Picks up the win here with Tim Pope coming in second. Russ Kilgore there in third. It looks like Greg Klein was able to hang on to that spot with that battle with the 285 to finish here in fourth.
Right there at the last minute, Jonathan Osborne was disqualified due to contact. He hit the incident limit. Oh, man, it sucks for him.
I don't think he could have lost any more spots than where he was. So he was
he was
19th.
10 laps down. Yeah.
He was ended up 19th regardless. So, well, I mean, he had some beating and banging for sure. I think he got kind of screwed over with some blinkage out there on the other car's behalf, but it happens.
Yes, indeed. As we still have some things to get to, like our random draw driver of the day. Let us see who it's gonna be. It's gonna be tonight's 9th place finisher, Jess Vaught.
And I'll get you the other thing here in a minute. I'm having some problems pulling up the roster here. Yeah.
Difficulty?
Give me a few.
Yeah, that's all we have around here is difficulty
I'm
sometimes.
telling you, that's how it feels half the time.
It's a battle. Ott's doing the old, what do they call that? The old Polish victory lap?
Oh, yeah. Where you go around like Kowicki did so he can wave at
Yeah.
the fans and they can see him. That I always thought that was such a cool thing.
It is cool.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Andrew Hansley tonight.
Oh, Andrew.
Andrew Hansley is going to be your fan of the race. Andrew, you entered into a drawing at the end of the season here. They're going to do a drawing for something.
For
Something.
I think it's like it's
More
gonna,
than you had.
I think it's gonna be like $50 or something like that.
Yeah, a gift card or something.
Yeah, it's something along those lines, but either way, let's get these interviews off and running as I pull up the right things. And let's start off with that 3rd place finisher, that 7 of Russ Kilgore. Russ, congratulations, a podium spot here tonight. Keeping all 4 tires on the ground this season has really helped you out. You've been having a pretty solid string of results here. What I know, these short tracks kind of get beaten and bangy and just craziness can all happen, but what got you through here tonight?
Well, after the first wreck, had to go get one of my 2 backup cars. Was I saw I was the only car a lap down. I said, I'm not going to push it, just going to ride around, hope for a caution. Got it, got back on the lead lap, and kind of got stuck on pit road, running second, came down because I only had 1 lap of fuel left. Caught me another lap down, luckily got that back, and thought I might have something for Pope. There's no way I was catching hot. And I got slowed up a little bit behind a couple lap cars, but no big deal. I was happy with P3 and had to use 2 of my, actually I had to use 3 cars, so. But we're good. That was fun. Glad.
Well, what was fun for us was watching week after week, you and that Rod Baker Ford Mustang out there running, and I think you just love to pass cars, because we'll see you start way back in the back of the pack and climb your way up through and just pass tons of cars. We didn't really have to do too much of that tonight. You had a pretty good qualifying run in 8th place. Do you really like short tracks? Is this kind of your bread and butter, or you just happen to get a good qualifying run?
Yeah, I knew coming in, I like Bristol, but it's obviously notorious for beating and banging, and so I told myself I ran a 0 in practice, and I figured out the line, and of course I messed that up in qualifying, but I told myself, I said, as long as I can get up in the top 8, 6 in qualifying and just kind of stay up front, hopefully stay out of the wrecks. But I caused the first one, bounced off the wall, and came down on somebody, and that was all my fault. But no, I love the short tracks. If it just stays green and keep going, if I could just figure out a little bit more how to save tires. I've been picking Jess's brain a little bit, and I don't think he's going to feed me too much. Doesn't want me up there too far, but I'm hoping I'll get a win here one of these days. Make the old guy feel good.
Well, you stuck it out tonight. A little adversity, but that podium finish, good job. You have any shout outs or anything before we let you go?
Rod Baker Ford, and my girlfriend hasn't come down yelling at me yet to get upstairs, so she left me alone tonight. Maybe that was a good omen. So, and Jess, once again, great league, great guys, have a lot of fun running in this league. It's a blast. So.
Awesome, Russ. Well, thanks for the time here, man. And again, congratulations on the 3rd place finish here tonight. And good luck next week at the Throwback Week at Darlington.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Moving on up this leaderboard, we talked to a man who is absolutely no stranger to this booth. That's that 728 of Timothy Pope coming home in 2nd here tonight, up 13 spots. A great run there, Tim, having to climb back up through the field, not once, but a couple of times after getting involved in a few of those incidents there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I didn't think I was ever going to get back up there or up there. I didn't practice at all. Just qualifying laps, one of the laps I had, and about 100 into the race, 125, I finally found a groove and let her loose.
Yeah, you found your rhythm all right, and you took that double T trucking Toyota Supra up there to the front, starting in 15th place. Talk a little bit about your sponsor on the hood, and what are you looking forward to the rest of the season? You can pretty much do it all, we've seen, but talk a little bit about what you're going to do the rest of the season here.
The sponsor is actually my parents' trucking business, named after me and my brother, Double T Trucking. We both names start with a T, so that's where that come from. The rest of the season, I don't know. We got Darlington and Talladega. I don't know what else we got, but I'm looking forward to Darlington. It's going to be a tough track.
Well, you did it again tonight. Podium finish. Congrats. Do you have anybody you want to thank?
Yes, sir. Limitless Motorsports, Vigilante. You guys are putting the race on, and congrats to Jim Mott again for winning another one.
Yes, indeed. But either way, congrats there, Tim. Another podium 2nd place finish for you here tonight, and we look forward to seeing what you can do in the final 2 races of this season.
Yes, sir.
All right, so with that, let's head down the order for just a second to our random draw driver of the day, and that's going to be the 33 of Jess Vaught. Jess, you were looking pretty strong up there at the start, just getting caught up, maybe mistiming the kind of pit strategy there a little bit, but I mean that's kind of what happens here at short track series. You win some and you lose some, and unfortunately, I think you lost some here tonight.
Yeah, my mistake was not pitting on that first caution around lap 30. So that put, you can't go into the pits without going a couple laps down here. So, and then they had that accident. So while I had not made up my laps yet, so that's where everything went off the rails there. And I guess I was just due for some bad luck, man.
Yeah, we were talking about it right when that first caution flag got thrown. I said to myself, I think I mentioned some of it to these guys about, it's maybe too early for tires to come down and just top off with gas. That's what I was thinking. But, you can, every time you plan for something, your plan goes out the window a few laps later, as we've seen on so many other things. And it just didn't roll your way tonight. But still, lucky draw driver tonight. Talk about Darlington, man. It is tough. Both ends of the track completely different. It's, there's not a lot of room left to right on that track for running. What's your strategy running in, and are you guys already starting to do some practice laps?
Yeah, I've already run a bunch of laps there. I like it. It's a highline running track. It's kind of like Kansas, if you think about it that way. A little bit tougher, a little easier to get into the wall than Kansas was. So I'm looking forward to it. But I feel like I was kind of fortunate tonight, actually, just to make up the difference and come back to ninth, considering I think I was stuck down at 16th or something, and then I would have lost a lot more points to Jim Ott in that situation. So overall, I'm not going to say it was a terrible night. I was able to recover a little bit, but I'm looking forward to Darlington. Maybe a little bit more room to dodge an accident, but not necessarily the way it goes at Darlington.
Yeah, well, that's going to be fun next week with the throwback paint. You got anything special planned for the throwback?
No, I'm just looking for something seriously old, man. I go back maybe to around the roots of NASCAR and see what I can come up with.
Man, I'm kind of upset I'm going to be missing that one to see all those paint schemes. I'm going to have to maybe talk to the cruise ship to get a stream going on that one. But either way, Jess, still a solid top 10 finish for you here tonight. Before we let you go, got any shout-outs?
Yeah, as always, shout out to Lori and you guys for doing the race here, and my teammates, and looking forward hopefully to another couple of good races to close out the season and see what next season has for us.
Alrighty, man. Well, thanks for taking the time with us here, Jess, and we look forward to seeing what you guys can do here in the final 2 weeks.
You bet. Appreciate you. Have a good time, man, on your cruise.
Yeah, have a good time. And you should be watching this because we're going to have a heck of a time on our hands.
Man, you ain't kidding.
English is going to be in charge. Oh, jeez.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Go ahead, Brad.
Well, someone who isn't having a nightmare is that 205 of Jim Ott finding his way into victory lane here once again. Man, Jim, you just seem to be making all the right decisions at the right times. You really set yourself up there with that pit call there on that first caution.
Yeah, that kind of dictated the race, I guess, tonight. I didn't realize I'd have such an advantage, being deep in the field like that. But, having track position after that was huge for me.
We'll talk about it next week. Darlington's coming up. This is kind of an old school track, and you pretty much dominated pretty easily tonight. Darlington, one of the oldest tracks in NASCAR. How do you feel about next week?
Darlington's a lot of fun. Technical track. I enjoy that. Going to have to be a little bit more patient than I was tonight. In fact, I gotta apologize for that wreck that was caused. I would say it was my fault pushing the issue in lap traffic tonight. So, but nonetheless, just got to be patient there. Take care of the tires. Seems to be the key every week. But you're wall riding the whole time, and you just got to be extra careful.
Well, don't feel too bad. First of all, you won a thing, and then second of all, everybody caused some kind of issue. Looked like tonight there was just you're that close together on the track. It happens. That's just a tight track, tough track. Great job. You have any shout outs or anything?
I appreciate that. Yeah, you guys, I love watching the broadcast. My family loves watching the broadcast. Jess and Lori, they do an awesome job, and just look forward to racing there every week. And teammate Jay, me and him got some great practice again this week, and it certainly paid off. So thanks to everybody involved.
Awesome. Well, Jim, congrats on the win here again tonight, and Good luck the remainder of the season. These points, man, tonight's really going to help you out, and you're going to close that gap up to Jess here and maybe find your way into a driver championship race here in that final week, so we can't wait for it.
That sounds great. I can't wait to see what happens here next couple weeks.
All right, and so with that brings tonight's race in action to a close, and it's kind of like we said, it was all about survival here, and man, we saw some of the best drivers here survive this one.
Yeah, man, I knew we were in for a show tonight. There could have been a heck of a lot more cautious, but there weren't, and a lot of that's due in part to Lori's great work up there in the flag stand. Man, what a great race they made for us, and I can't wait for the next short track, really.
Yes, indeed. Well, as we wind things down here from Bristol, let's go ahead and talk about where everyone's favorite driver finished up in this race. Excuse me while I try to click the right buttons here. We got Jim Ott picking up the win with the 728 of Timothy Pope. A solid night there for him, up 13 spots. And like you heard, really not much practice, just kind of using his qualifying time to make up that space to come in second. Russ Kilgore with another solid night. And man, Rocket Man Russ, that's what happens when you're able to keep all four wheels on the tarmac, my dude.
Yeah.
So it's a great podium finish there for him. The 292, Greg Klein looked like he was going to be very strong, but maybe the old tires caught up with him here at the end of this one. He's going to finish in fourth with that 285. Greg Dobson, he's going to be the next highest finisher here for that Limitless Motorsports team. Talk about a great run here for Dobson in fifth. Hot Rod, maybe your hard charger of the day, bringing that 29 machine home up 15 spots in sixth. So Hot Rod having a great race, putting money where his mouth is tonight, as he has a solid run. The 244 of Arison was looking very strong here as well, with a 7th place finish, with the 753 of Jeremiah Burke back there in 8th. You got that 33 of Jess Vaught with a 9th place finish. And the 221 of David Fight's going to round out your remaining top 10.
Now, 11th place will be Austin Paul in the 3 machine. Great running out there tonight from him. 48 of Jack Dixon, finishing right about where he started, right there in 12th place. The 2 of Albert Anderson gained a few spots, finishes in 13th position. The first car 4 laps down is Ricky Wittenberg in the 55. He dropped 7 spots to finish 14th. The 01 of Kelly Keel. He looked like he had a pretty strong car out there and did really well for a while, and had some contact there about mid-race. He'll finish in 15th place. 16th will be the 210 of Andrew Cawthon. 72 of Chan the Man. Chandler Paul, he'll finish the last car 4 laps down in 17th. 6 laps down, finishing in 18th, George Rincon. The 81 of Jonathan Osborne, 10 laps down, got DQ'd for incident points. He'll finish in 19th. And rounding out your top 20, that beat-up machine of the 76, Jeff Ottinger. He was missing some parts off that thing half the race, but still able to finish top 20.
Yeah, 21st, the number 4, Dion Jones, 22nd. 13, Earl Evans. 23rd, 222 at Tony Pope. 24th, we got 51, Mike Adamson. And 25th, the 57 of Russ Endicott.
And those guys having a rough time here tonight. Well, either way, that does it for the race in action here from Bristol. We thank you all for tuning in and watching each and every race like you guys do. We thank you guys so much, because you guys are the reason why we do this, is to see all you great fans out there asking great questions, having great comments. So thank you guys for hanging on out here with us, as well as big thank you to the race sponsors of D&D Race Grafix, and that's Grafix spelled Grafix. Go ahead and look them up on Facebook and over there on Trading Paints, as well as Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Give Ricky a call there at 423-444-0454 to get yourself a good quality realtor in that Johnson City, Tennessee area, or across the country, because this housing market is crazy. Don't do it alone. Get yourself a good quality realtor. That concludes the racing we got for this week, and we got a short week next week. Only the Wednesday night throwback night here at Vigilante over there at Darlington. One you are not gonna want to miss. I'm sad that I'm missing it, so don't be like me. Go ahead and sign on in and watch that one and enjoy a great show. But until then, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We're signing off.
We gone.
See ya.